Have you ever felt like something significant is about to happen in your life, but you can't quite explain why? Sometimes, before a major blessing arrives, there are subtle changes, unexpected challenges, and spiritual signals that begin to appear. What looks like confusion, delay, or even discomfort may actually be preparation for something far greater than you imagined. In today's message, we're going to explore 6 powerful signs that often appear when a major breakthrough is drawing near. If you've been feeling different lately, if doors have been closing while new opportunities seem to be forming in the background, this message may speak directly to your current season. Stay until the end, because the final sign is one that many people overlook, yet it often appears just before a life-changing blessing arrives. One of the most difficult experiences to understand is when certain people begin to drift away from your life. Relationships that once felt strong may suddenly feel different. Conversations become less frequent, connections lose their depth, and people who were once part of your daily routine may gradually disappear from your journey. At first, this can feel confusing and even painful. It is natural to wonder what went wrong or why things are changing. Yet sometimes these moments are not signs of failure. They are signs of preparation. Growth often requires separation. Just as a tree must shed old leaves before new ones can emerge, there are seasons in life when certain connections can no longer accompany you into the future that is being prepared for you. This does not necessarily mean those people are bad or that they have done something wrong. It simply means that their role in your life may have been for a specific season rather than for a lifetime. Many people resist this process because they fear loneliness. When familiar faces disappear, the silence can feel overwhelming. The temptation is to hold on tightly to relationships that are naturally fading. But forcing people to stay where they no longer belong often creates frustration and emotional exhaustion. Sometimes the healthiest thing you can do is accept that not everyone is meant to walk every mile of your journey with you. There are moments when life begins to shift in a new direction, and suddenly the conversations that once entertained you no longer satisfy you. The habits that once seemed normal start feeling empty. The environments where you once felt comfortable begin to feel limiting. You may notice a growing desire for deeper meaning, stronger purpose, and greater spiritual awareness. This change can be unsettling because it creates distance between who you used to be and who you are becoming. During these periods, it may seem as though doors are closing around you. Invitations become fewer. Certain friendships become quieter. Opportunities that once seemed important lose their appeal. Yet what appears to be loss is often creating room for something better. New blessings require space. New opportunities require preparation. New relationships require availability. If your hands are completely occupied with things from the past, it becomes difficult to receive what is waiting ahead. Many of the greatest transformations begin in isolation. The quiet season is often where strength is developed, wisdom is gained, and character is refined. While others may see loneliness, there is often a deeper purpose unfolding beneath the surface. The absence of constant noise allows clarity to emerge. The lack of distraction creates room for growth. The distance from familiar influences helps reveal what truly matters. What feels like rejection may actually be redirection. What feels like abandonment may actually be protection. Some people leave because their assignment in your life has been completed. Others leave because they cannot accompany you into the next chapter. And sometimes separation occurs simply because something greater is being prepared than what you can currently see. Instead of focusing on who is leaving, focus on who you are becoming. Trust that every season has a purpose, even when it is difficult to understand. The same process that removes certain people from your life is often the process that prepares you for the blessings, opportunities, and connections that are still ahead. When one chapter closes, it is often because another chapter is ready to begin. One of the most surprising things about approaching a major breakthrough is that life does not always become easier. In fact, many people experience the exact opposite. Challenges seem to increase. Unexpected obstacles appear. Plans that once seemed straightforward suddenly become complicated. It can feel as though everything is working against you at the very moment you are hoping for progress. This is often the point where many people become discouraged and start questioning whether they are moving in the right direction. When difficulties begin to multiply, the natural response is to assume something has gone wrong. However, challenges are not always signs that you are moving away from your purpose. Sometimes they are signs that you are getting closer to it. Every significant achievement in life requires preparation, and preparation often comes through pressure. Just as a diamond is formed under intense pressure, strength of character is frequently developed through seasons of testing. There are lessons that can only be learned during difficult times. Patience is developed when answers take longer than expected. Courage grows when fear must be faced repeatedly. Perseverance is built when giving up seems easier than continuing forward. These qualities cannot be purchased, borrowed, or inherited. They are formed through experience, and experience often comes through challenges. Many people dream of receiving greater opportunities, larger responsibilities, and bigger blessings, but few consider the preparation required to handle them. Without preparation, success can become overwhelming. Without wisdom, opportunities can be wasted. Without maturity, blessings can become burdens. This is why difficult seasons often appear before major breakthroughs. They are shaping the person who will eventually receive what is coming. Sometimes opposition appears in unexpected ways. Criticism may increase. Doubts may arise from people around you. Situations that once seemed stable may suddenly become uncertain. These experiences can feel frustrating because they arrive without warning. Yet every challenge presents an opportunity to grow stronger. Every obstacle provides a chance to develop resilience. Every setback teaches lessons that will become valuable later. It is important to remember that temporary difficulties do not determine your future. A storm does not last forever. The presence of challenges today does not mean defeat tomorrow. Many of the most successful and inspiring stories begin with periods of struggle. What separates those who eventually succeed is their willingness to keep moving forward even when circumstances become difficult. During these seasons, it is easy to focus on what is going wrong. However, growth often happens in places that are not immediately visible. Strength is being developed, character is being refined, confidence is being built. Even when progress seems slow, important work is taking place beneath the surface. Just because you cannot see the results immediately does not mean nothing is happening. There may be moments when you feel tired, frustrated, or tempted to quit. Those feelings are normal. Yet it is often in those very moments that the greatest transformation is occurring. Challenges have a way of revealing strengths you never knew you possessed. They force you to discover levels of determination, faith, and endurance that remain hidden during comfortable seasons. Instead of viewing every obstacle as a sign to stop, consider the possibility that it is preparing you for something greater. The difficulties you face today may be equipping you with the wisdom, strength, and character needed for the opportunities ahead. What feels like resistance now may actually be preparation. And sometimes the greatest breakthroughs arrive shortly after the hardest battles have been fought. There are moments in life when something begins to change deep within you, even though nothing around you appears different. It is difficult to explain, but you start feeling a stronger sense of direction. The things that once seemed important no longer hold the same value, and your attention naturally shifts towards something greater. You may not have all the answers, and you may not fully understand where you are being led, but there is a growing awareness that your life has a deeper purpose. This feeling often develops gradually. It does not usually arrive with dramatic signs or sudden announcements. Instead, it begins as a quiet conviction that continues to grow stronger over time. Certain dreams, ideas, or goals repeatedly enter your mind. You find yourself thinking about them during the day and returning to them again and again. What once seemed like a passing thought begins to feel like an important part of your future. As this sense of purpose grows, your priorities often begin to change. Activities that once consumed your time may no longer feel meaningful. You become more intentional about where you invest your energy, attention, and focus. Rather than being satisfied with temporary distractions, you begin searching for things that have lasting value. This shift can be surprising because it causes you to see life through a different perspective. You may also notice a growing desire to improve yourself. There is a stronger motivation to learn, grow, and become the person you were created to be. Instead of remaining comfortable with old habits, you begin seeking personal development. You become more aware of your strengths and weaknesses, and you develop a genuine desire to reach your full potential. This process is not always easy, but it often signals that preparation for something greater is taking place. Another characteristic of this season is increased clarity. While you may not know every detail of the future, you start recognizing what truly matters. Decisions become easier because you are guided by a stronger sense of direction. Opportunities that align with your purpose become more attractive, while distractions lose their appeal. The confusion that once dominated your thinking gradually gives way to a clearer understanding of where your life should be headed. During this time, you may feel drawn toward opportunities that challenge you to grow. Rather than avoiding responsibility, you begin embracing it. Instead of fearing change, you become more willing to step into unfamiliar territory. This willingness to move forward often comes from an inner confidence that something meaningful is unfolding, even if you cannot yet see the complete picture. At times, this growing sense of purpose can feel uncomfortable. It may require leaving behind familiar routines, taking risks, or making decisions that others do not understand. There may be moments when you question yourself or wonder whether you are imagining things. However, the feeling continues to return. The desire to pursue a greater calling becomes stronger than the desire to remain where you are. One of the most encouraging aspects of this experience is that it often appears before significant opportunities emerge. Long before a breakthrough becomes visible, there is usually an internal preparation process taking place. Your mindset changes, your vision expands, your expectations begin to grow. What is happening inside of you is preparing you for what is about to happen around you. When you experience this growing sense of purpose, do not ignore it. Pay attention to the dreams, ideas, and convictions that continue to rise within you. They may be guiding you toward the next chapter of your life. Sometimes, before a major blessing arrives, the first thing that changes is not your circumstances. It is your understanding of why you are here and what you are meant to accomplish. That growing sense of purpose is often a sign that something significant is being prepared for your future. Few experiences are more disappointing than watching a door close when you were convinced it was meant to open. You invest your time, energy, hope, and expectations into a particular opportunity, relationship, or plan, only to see it slip away. In those moments, it is easy to feel discouraged and confused. Questions begin to fill your mind. Why didn't things work out? Why did the opportunity disappear? Why was the path blocked when everything seemed to be moving in the right direction? Yet sometimes the very doors that close are actually protecting you and guiding you towards something far better than you can currently see. Most people naturally focus on what they have lost when a door closes. They think about the opportunity that never happened, the relationship that ended, or the plan that failed. Because the disappointment is immediate, it becomes difficult to imagine that something positive could come from the situation. However, life often reveals its lessons in hindsight. Many people eventually look back on closed doors and realize they were actually blessings in disguise. There are opportunities that seem perfect on the surface, but would have led to frustration, regret, or limitation later on. There are relationships that appear promising but are not meant to last. There are paths that look attractive but ultimately lead away from your greater purpose. When a door closes, it may not always be because you did something wrong. Sometimes it closes because something better is being prepared. One of the hardest parts of this process is learning to trust when you cannot see the full picture. Human nature wants immediate answers and clear explanations. We want to know why things happened and where we are going next. Yet there are seasons when clarity comes only after patience. During those times, it is important to remember that a closed door is not the end of the story. It is simply one chapter ending so another can begin. Often the closing of one door creates space for opportunities that would not have been possible otherwise. If the first opportunity had succeeded, you might never have explored a better one. If the original plan had worked perfectly, you might never have discovered a greater path. What initially appears to be a setback can become the very event that redirects your life towards something extraordinary. Closed doors also teach valuable lessons about trust, patience, and resilience. They remind us that not every desire is meant to be fulfilled immediately. They challenge us to keep moving forward even when circumstances do not unfold according to our expectations. These experiences build strength and maturity, preparing us for future opportunities that require greater wisdom and understanding. There may be moments when you feel tempted to keep forcing a door open. You may continue investing energy into something that is clearly no longer moving forward. However, not every opportunity is meant to be pursued indefinitely. Sometimes wisdom is found in letting go. Sometimes the greatest act of faith is accepting that what was meant for you will not require endless struggle to obtain. As time passes, new possibilities often begin to emerge. Unexpected opportunities appear. New connections form. Different paths become visible. What once seemed like a devastating loss starts making sense. You begin to understand that if the old door had remained open, you might never have reached the place where you truly belonged. The truth is that closed doors are not always signs of rejection. Many times they are signs of redirection. They guide you away from what is temporary and toward what is lasting. They move you away from what is merely good and toward what is best. Although the process can be painful, it often serves a greater purpose than you can imagine in the moment. So when a door closes, do not assume that your future has been diminished. Instead, consider the possibility that you are being guided toward something greater. The opportunity you lost may not compare to the opportunity that is coming. The path that disappeared may be making way for a better one. And what feels like an ending today may actually be the beginning of one of the most important chapters of your life. One of the most remarkable experiences a person can have is feeling an unexplainable sense of peace while everything around them seems uncertain. Normally, peace is associated with favorable circumstances. People expect to feel calm when problems are solved, questions are answered, and the future appears secure. Yet there are times when peace arrives before any visible solution appears. The challenges remain, the waiting continues, and the path ahead is still unclear. But deep within, there is a quiet confidence that everything will somehow work out. This kind of peace is different from ordinary comfort. It does not depend on what is happening around you. It exists even when circumstances suggest that you should be worried. While others may focus on the obstacles, delays, and unanswered questions, you begin to notice a growing sense of stability within yourself. It is as though fear is slowly losing its power over your thoughts and emotions. There may have been a time when uncertainty caused constant anxiety. Every delay felt like a disaster. Every setback seemed like proof that things would never improve. Every unanswered question created frustration and doubt. Yet something begins to change. The same situations that once produced fear no longer affect you in the same way. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, you find yourself becoming more patient. Instead of constantly worrying about the future, you start trusting the process. This inner peace often develops during seasons of waiting. Waiting is rarely easy because it requires patience without immediate rewards. Most people want answers right away. They want to know exactly when things will change and how everything will unfold. But life does not always provide that level of certainty. Sometimes the waiting season lasts longer than expected. Yet it is often during these periods that peace grows the strongest. As this peace increases, your perspective begins to change. You stop viewing every obstacle as a threat and start seeing challenges as opportunities for growth. You become less focused on what you cannot control and more focused on what you can. Rather than allowing fear to dominate your thoughts, you learn to remain steady in the midst of uncertainty. This shift creates emotional strength that helps you navigate difficult seasons with greater confidence. Another sign of this peace is the ability to remain hopeful despite a lack of visible evidence. Nothing around you may indicate that a breakthrough is near, yet you continue believing that positive change is possible. This hope is not based on wishful thinking. It comes from a deeper conviction that your current circumstances do not define your final destination. You begin to understand that temporary difficulties are only part of a larger journey. People around you may not understand this confidence. They may focus on the problems and question why you remain calm. They may expect you to be discouraged because of the challenges you face. Yet you find yourself responding differently than before. Instead of panic, there is patience. Instead of fear, there is trust. Instead of confusion, there is quiet assurance. This inner peace also protects your energy. When fear controls your mind, it becomes difficult to think clearly or make wise decisions. Anxiety drains your focus and steals your joy. Peace, on the other hand, creates clarity. It allows you to move forward with confidence even when every detail has not yet been revealed. It helps you remain grounded while others are consumed by uncertainty. Many people overlook the importance of this sign because it does not appear dramatic. There are no flashing signals or extraordinary events. It is a quiet transformation that takes place within the heart and mind. Yet it is often one of the strongest indicators that something significant is approaching. Before circumstances change externally, something changes internally. Before the breakthrough arrives, confidence begins to replace fear. Before the answer becomes visible, peace takes root. If you have noticed this growing sense of calm despite unanswered questions and uncertain circumstances, do not ignore it. It may be a sign that you are entering a new season. While the future may not yet be fully visible, the peace you feel today can be evidence that you are being prepared for what lies ahead. Sometimes the greatest confirmation that something good is coming is not found in your circumstances, but in the quiet confidence that continues to grow within you even while you wait. One of the most exciting signs that something significant may be approaching is the appearance of unexpected opportunities and meaningful connections. These moments often arrive when you least expect them. A conversation that seems ordinary suddenly opens a new door. A chance meeting introduces you to someone who becomes important in your journey. An opportunity appears from a direction you never anticipated. At first, these events may seem like coincidences, but over time you begin to notice a pattern. Certain people, opportunities, and circumstances start appearing at exactly the right moment. Many people assume that major blessings always arrive in dramatic ways. They expect a sudden breakthrough that changes everything overnight. However, life often works differently. Significant changes frequently begin with small opportunities that seem insignificant at first. A single conversation can lead to a new career path. One introduction can create a valuable relationship. A simple invitation can open doors that were previously unimaginable. What appears small today may become the foundation of something much greater tomorrow. During seasons of preparation, you may notice that the right people begin entering your life. These individuals often bring encouragement, wisdom, support, or opportunities that help move you forward. They may offer guidance when you need direction, provide resources when you face challenges, or inspire you to pursue goals that once seemed impossible. Their presence becomes a reminder that you are not meant to accomplish everything alone. At the same time, opportunities may begin appearing in unexpected places. Things that once seemed impossible suddenly become realistic. Doors that were previously closed start opening. Situations that appeared stagnant begin showing signs of movement. While not every opportunity will be the right one, there is often a noticeable increase in possibilities that align with your growth and future direction. One important aspect of these opportunities is timing. Many people spend years trying to force certain outcomes, only to discover that things begin falling into place when the timing is right. Opportunities that once required tremendous effort may suddenly become accessible. Connections that seemed impossible to make happen naturally. Circumstances begin aligning in ways that are difficult to explain. It is as though pieces of a puzzle are gradually coming together. These moments also require awareness. Sometimes people overlook valuable opportunities because they are expecting something bigger or more dramatic. They become so focused on a specific outcome that they fail to recognize the doors opening directly in front of them. This is why it is important to remain attentive and open-minded. Not every blessing arrives in the package you expect. Sometimes the greatest opportunities are disguised as simple beginnings. Another interesting characteristic of this season is the feeling that things are moving forward after a long period of waiting. Progress becomes visible. Conversations lead somewhere meaningful. Efforts begin producing results. Momentum starts building where there was once stagnation. Even small signs of movement can create renewed confidence and motivation. The people who enter your life during this time can also play an important role in your future. Some may become trusted friends. Others may become mentors, partners, or sources of encouragement. Their influence can help you grow in ways you never expected. While it is impossible to predict exactly how each connection will impact your journey, it is often clear that certain relationships arrive for a purpose. Looking back, many people realize that the most important turning points in their lives began with a single opportunity or one unexpected connection. What seemed random at the time was actually the beginning of a much larger story. A conversation, a meeting, an invitation, or an unexpected chance became the catalyst for lasting change. If you have recently noticed new opportunities appearing, meaningful connections forming, or unexpected favor showing up in your life, pay attention. These moments may be more significant than they seem. Sometimes, before a major blessing becomes fully visible, life begins placing the right people, opportunities, and circumstances along your path. What appears to be a small step forward today may be leading you toward something far greater than you can currently imagine.